Hello, my dear friends. If you're watching this, you've likely loved someone for a very long time, 50, 60, maybe even 70 years. And you might be carrying a quiet question in your heart, one that feels too complicated to ask out loud. Why does this person I chose so long ago, this person I've built a life with, sometimes feel like a stranger now? Why does the house feel so quiet, even when we're both in it? This isn't a small question. It's one of the most common, yet most unspoken experiences of very long marriages. That feeling of distance, that sense of being alone, together. Today, we're going to gently unpack that question. We're not here to point fingers or assign blame. Love isn't a courtroom. We're here to understand, with kindness, the 6 deep psychological reasons many women, especially as they enter their later years, begin to feel a wall of resentment or sadness grow between them and their husbands. If you're a woman feeling this, I want you to know you're not mean. You're not broken. You're human. And if you're a man watching, wanting to understand, thank you for your open heart. This is a conversation about love's long journey. The first reason is the slow fade of being seen. The deepest hurt isn't in the big fights. It's in the silence that replaces curiosity. It's the feeling that the man sitting across from you no longer wonders about your inner world, your worries about your friends, your thoughts on growing older, your quiet joys. You become the manager of the household, not the companion of his heart. And when you feel invisible, love starts to feel lonely. The heart doesn't shout about this. It just retreats. It builds a small room inside itself where it doesn't expect to be visited anymore. The second reason is when partnership starts to feel like parenting. For decades, many marriages operate as partnerships. Then, as health declines, a shift can happen. The wife often becomes the caregiver. She keeps track of the medications, the doctor's appointments, the diet. But here is the psychological knot. When a wife starts to feel more like a nurse or a mother than a partner and a lover, respect changes. The dynamic flattens. The romance and mutual admiration get buried under duty. The relationship that was once a dance can start to feel like a task. And it's very hard to feel romantic love for someone you have to parent. The third reason is the heavy, invisible mountain of work. It's called the mental load. She is the family's memory, its social coordinator, its emotional center. She remembers the birthdays, plans the holidays, maintains the friendships. For years, she carries this load. But in the later years, when she is tired, when her own body aches, this invisible mountain of work can begin to feel deeply unfair. A bitter thought can whisper, "I am still working, and you are still resting." This isn't about laziness. Often he just doesn't see the work. Feeling like the forever manager of another adult's life drains the sweetness out of companionship. It builds a quiet resentment, brick by brick, over decades. The fourth reason is the unspoken grief of lost dreams. Early in marriage, you talk about someday. Someday we'll travel. Someday we'll take that class. Then, someday finally arrives. The kids are gone. Retirement comes. And you realize the dream wasn't just postponed. It was forgotten. For many women, this is a profound disappointment. When she suggests a trip, a new hobby, and is met with, "I'm too tired," it feels like a rejection of her and the future she still wants to live. She grieves not just for the unfulfilled plans, but for the loss of a teammate. She ends up feeling like she's dragging a reluctant passenger through her own life. This grief, when left unspoken, solidifies into resentment. The fifth reason is when touch and tenderness disappear. Physical intimacy changes with age, but tenderness shouldn't. For many older men, showing affection becomes awkward or falls away. But for a woman, a hand on her shoulder, a kiss on her cheek, these are the signals that say, I am still here with you. I still choose you. When that language of touch disappears, the marriage can feel like a business arrangement. You are co-managers of a household, not lovers. When the body is never acknowledged with kindness, the heart begins to believe it is no longer loved. The sixth and deepest reason is the weight of unresolved history. 60 years together means 60 years of history, some of it beautiful, some of it painful. The hurtful comment he made in 1974 that she never forgot, the time he forgot her birthday. In a long marriage, people often move on from hurts without ever truly repairing them. They sweep the pain under the rug to keep the peace. But in the quiet of old age, all those unresolved hurts can rise to the surface. They weren't forgiven, they were just buried. The weight of this buried history can make the present feel unbearable. If any of this resonates with you, please hear this. Understanding these reasons is the first powerful step toward change. Resentment is often just grief wearing a disguise. Grief for the connection you've lost. The beautiful news is that connection can be rebuilt. It's never, ever too late to turn toward each other again. It starts with courage. The courage to speak, not to blame, but to share your heart. I feel lonely sometimes. I miss talking with you. I need a hug. It also starts with the courage to listen, not to defend yourself, but to simply hear her heartache, to say, tell me more about that. Try one small thing this week. 1. Reach for her hand. Just hold it for 5 minutes while you watch TV. 2. Ask a question that has no practical answer. What's a happy memory from when we were first married? 3. Notice one thing she does and say a sincere thank you. Thank you for making this home so peaceful. A long marriage is the most beautiful and difficult garden you will ever tend. Weeds will grow, but as long as you're both still here, you can still pick up the tools and garden together. Start today with one kind word, one gentle touch. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, your feelings matter, your story matters, and it's never too late for a new beginning.